Hey guys, I know I'm super late, so I'm really sorry. I know it's like literally almost 10 o'clock Central Time. I know a lot of you guys are probably not even on, but I knew I had to get this done. I have to stay consistent. But it was a crazy day for us. I had a half day work. I worked 10 to 2 because I had a 12 o'clock meeting that I just couldn't get away from. But I was supposed to have a half day, supposed to only work 4 hours, 8 to 4. I'm 8 to 12. That was kind of the goal. Because every 3 months my son goes to Children's Hospital of Wisconsin for his quarterly diabetes appointment. Because my son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 4 years old. So it's been about 6.5 years now. Lots of things have changed. We've taken a few classes in the past month or so, and lots of things have changed. We have learned so much. Like today, we learned crazy ton. It was like a 2-hour appointment. So we were there until after 5 o'clock at night. He started with his Dexcom G5 continuous glucose monitor last Monday. So, we're still learning how to do it. Today we ran all over the place trying to find him an iPod Touch because he needs an iPod, an iPhone, something that the app can sync to so we can all follow it, so we can all see his blood sugar numbers throughout the day. So we finally did find one today at Best Buy in Lake Geneva, a blue one, just what he wanted. The new version, which I didn't realize iPods were so expensive. Thank you, Beachbody, for making it possible for me to get him that $200 iPod Touch without even having to put on a credit card. I had the cash to pay for it, so that's pretty cool. But, what is life like with a kid that's diagnosed with diabetes? Well, he was 4 years old when he was diagnosed, so he was actually in preschool when he was diagnosed. The preschool doesn't really have nurses. They don't really have anybody trained, but they did. The person in charge of the Montessori school where he went actually took the diabetes class, learned how to do everything. So obviously we felt comfortable leaving him there. I think there was one incident the whole time he was at Montessori where he went low, but they gave him juice and he was fine. But type 1 diabetes is scary. I still remember 6 years ago, we just knew something was wrong. He wanted to drink all the time, and all he wanted to drink was apple juice. And that made him pee all the time. He started to have accidents. He would miss the toilet and pee on the floor. On the floor would be all sticky because it was so full of sugar from the apple juice. So I knew something wasn't right. So I took him to his regular primary care doctor, and they just knew what it was right away. They took his blood sugar, and his blood sugar was like 489 or something like that, like going up to 500. And they're like, you need to take him to Children's Hospital. So, I went out to my car, called my mom. I said, you need to go with us to Children's Hospital. They think Jake is a type 1 diabetic. We need to take him to the hospital. So I will always remember that day. It was March 15th of 2000. It would have been 2010. No, 2011. It would have been 2011 because he had just turned 4 months before. And it was literally the day before my brother's birthday. So that's another reason I remember it, because on my brother's actual birthday, we had to go to Children's Hospital and take a whole bunch of classes. So I'd take 2 days off of work, really super intensive classes to learn how to take care of his diabetes. Because it is pretty intense, it is a lot to learn. And as I said, it was 6.5 years later, and we're still learning. I'll always remember that day, always. Things have obviously changed. We've learned to adjust numbers on our own. He's had all different kinds of insulin. He's used different kind of meters. And now, as of last Monday, he's using the Dexcom continuous glucose monitor. The dog is my pal down here tonight. She's keeping me company. I decided to make it calm and casual. I'm sitting on the futon in my basement with a Scooby-Doo pillow behind my back while I talk about this stuff. So, this continuous glucose monitor is new. I've changed the sensor once already. So, it's really kind of like learn on the job type stuff. But, really, what is it like to have a kid with type 1 diabetes? Well, things are just so much different. You absolutely know carb counts of everything. A lot of things we don't even have to look up. We have it memorized. Like I know off the top of my head that a cup of strawberries is 12 carbs. I know off the top of my head that a cheese stick is 1 carb. I know off the top of my head that one of those individual bag of Cheetos is 13 carbs. I mean, these are just things that you do it so many times you just remember. Corn is 6 carbs for a third of a cup. So, I mean, this is just the things that you know. And, even though he's had diabetes for 6.5 years, we still struggle with the pre-dosing thing because they say you're supposed to pre-dose. They say you need to give him insulin for what he eats before he eats. And for a growing boy, that's hard to do because we don't 100% know what he's all going to eat. But now that he has this continuous glucose monitor, you can see if you don't pre-dose what happens to blood sugar, because blood sugar can be fantastic at like 120 before he eats, and he could eat like a 50 carb meal and that sucker is going to spike up to 300 in like 45 minutes. That is exactly how fast things work. So we've learned that you really need to dose like 10 minutes before he's even going to eat. Luckily, he's a slow eater, but the insulin won't even start to work until 30 minutes after you give it. That is seriously insane. So this continuous glucose monitor is awesome because it has a graph and it shows you exactly if blood sugar is trending up, if blood sugar is trending down, if it's going down super fast, if it's going up super fast, if it's steady, it shows you. So, I mean, this is something even really cool at night. Like we've been adjusting numbers, we've been adjusting his nighttime shots. It's something where I can just look at my phone at 11 o'clock at night and see, oh, this is what his blood sugar is. Oh, he's steady at 120, he's good. So, I mean, it's super peace of mind. He's going to actually go to his best friend's sleep party. Oh, I love that. His best friend's house for a sleepover next Friday night. It's the first time he's going to be able to do that because we're going to be able to watch his blood sugar from home. Plus, the mom knows how to take care of diabetes. Plus, Jake is pretty self-sufficient at this time. He's almost 11. Really, the only thing he needs help with is he's pretty good at adding carbs. But that's something we still help him with just because we want to be sure. And figuring out how much insulin he's going to get. Because with every meal, there's a carb factor that we do, and it's a different number we divide by. So like for breakfast, we divide however many carbs he had by 6, and that's how much insulin he gets. At lunch, we divide by 14, and that much insulin he gets. Then you also have to do corrections. If he's over 150, he needs a correction. So, I mean, it's just a lot of things you need to learn. And, we still are pretty nervous about just letting him do it on his own. I think maybe when he's 12, we'll feel a little better. Maybe when he's in middle school, we'll feel better. So, like 1 more year, I think he'll be set and I think he'll be good. So, it's tough. I wouldn't wish anyone to have diabetes, their kid to have diabetes on anybody. But, that horrible thing happens at children in 2011, and then all that, horrible, 2011. Those horrible things happen. And then with all the stuff with Victoria and having to be at Children's Hospital for a week, and then having to go to cardiology follow-ups for Alexandra, Children's just has horrible memories. And when I go there, like today, I had like severe anxiety when I go there, just like usual. Because it's just not good memories. Sure, we're not going all the way into the area where you go up the elevator or you're in the PICU, which is the infant NICU. We don't have to go in that area to go to the diabetes clinic, but it's still, you still remember that parking garage. You still remember that drive up to the building. You still remember checking in at the welcome desk, which you walk by the welcome desk every time you go into the clinic. It's just horrible memories. And, it could partially be PTSD even. I don't even know. I don't know if they've done studies on that, on if your kid has been in the hospital for something, if you have to go there for regular appointments for your other kid. I don't know if that's something they've done studies on, but that would honestly be my research mindset. That would be something that I would be really interested in seeing the research, is if having to go back to the hospital where a child passed away or a family member passed away or anybody passed away, would going to that hospital for just routine care, would that be like PTSD? I don't know. I just kind of thought of that just now, so that's kind of strange. But yeah, that's kind of where I was all day. So, the appointment was at 3:15 and we were there till after 5. I've been really, really great this week. I've gotten up, I've done my workouts, I've done my personal development, I've done my positive affirmations, I've done my prayer, written down everything I'm grateful for every night. And, I had been doing fantastic on my eating. And then today, it just falls apart. But I'm not beating myself up about it. So this is really how it fell apart. So I was going to a seminar, an elder financial abuse seminar for work up in West Bend. So that's about 45 minutes from work. And just the timing of the day worked out where I broke my fast at 11 with my avocado and some string cheese. I had my coffee this morning as well as my Shakeology and my Energized. So I had all those things this morning, had my coffee just because I was super, super tired. And, I had avocado and I had string cheese, but then I didn't have time to eat my lunch. So number one thing I did to ruin it was I went to Starbucks and had a chai tea latte. First thing, chai tea latte is not horrible. I have it with coconut milk, but there's carbs in it because it is a liquid concentrate chai tea. First mistake. And then, I'm absolutely starving. And where does my son want to go to eat for dinner? He wants to go to Red Robin. like horrible place to go if you're trying to avoid carbs. I know I'm going to be regretting this in the morning, but I'm going to share it anyway. I did drink water. I was good on that. He wants a pretzel bite appetizer. So I have about 3 of those pretzel bites, bad enough carbs right there. And I'm like, I really want a burger. And I really want my burger on a bun. That was just what I wanted. And I wanted the bottomless steak fries. That is what I wanted. And, I was like, you know what? I have to give in to these things sometimes. I can't always be like, no, you have to have a burger with just cheese and bacon and mustard on the side with no bun. I just couldn't do it this time, guys. I just couldn't. After the anxiety and stress of having to do it at Children's Hospital, having to learn all this stuff and having my mind swimming because of this, I just couldn't do it. So I had the burger with the bun. I had the steak fries. So guys, this is a burger for real. I'm going to describe it to you and you're going to want to go out and get it right now. But it's a new burger that they have. So it is Angus burger patty. It's either 1/4 pound or 1/2 pound. I don't remember at this point what it was. And on it was a Parmesan cheese crisp, which is total keto okay. That's great. It's cheese. It's good. Then we get to the avocado. Another thing that's good, except now I've had 1.5 avocados today, which is a lot of avocado. So that's good. That's okay. That's fine. It has tomato. That's good. That's fine. That's okay. It has Swiss cheese. Again, that's fine. That's good. That's okay. And then you get to the candy bacon. This is like the bun and the candy bacon is like where it all falls apart. Because the candy bacon has sugar, and that the bun has carbs, and that the fries have carbs, plus they're potatoes, which I'm sensitive to. So, you can imagine how I'm going to feel tomorrow. But you know what? It's okay. I've worked really hard this week, and I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and work hard again. And it's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm not going to go into that emotional eating, shaming myself because of that. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just push forward and just make tomorrow a better day. That's really all I can do. When days are stressful and we have stressful things going on, it's okay to splurge and to treat yourself. It's okay. And you know what? I'm going to get right back on track, and the rest of the week is going to be fantastic. So hope everybody also had a fantastic Wednesday. Again, I'm sorry it's so late. I just want to be consistent and make sure that I'm going live every day to you guys, even though it's super late. So I'm sorry about that. And a lot of you will probably be catching this tomorrow. But I know it kind of went a little off topic. But, living with a kiddo with type 1 diabetes is regular life for me. And, I think my one pet peeve about diabetes is people not knowing the difference between type 1 and type 2. It's cool not to know. Educate yourself. That's awesome. But to have people say that I gave my son diabetes or something like that, because people judge me all the time and think that he is type 2. and that it's caused from no exercise and eating crappy and playing video games all day and genetic and all this stuff. And type 1 is absolutely, number one, not genetic. Number two, it is not brought on by diet and lack of exercise. It is the fact that his pancreas cannot break the sugar down and cannot make its own insulin. So that's why he needs extra insulin. So that's number two, that there's nothing you can do to prevent type 1 diabetes. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If your pancreas isn't going to work, it's not going to work. And managing type 1 diabetes is a lot harder than managing type 2, because if he's not getting the correct amount of insulin, he dies. That's basically the way it is. There are families where they do not manage their kids' diabetes and their blood sugars are always in the 300s. And that's going to eventually lead to death. And I mean, that it's serious. So getting the education and managing it and doing everything we can to make his life easy, because I know his life is not easy. I know he struggles. I know he feels different than other kids. And, you know, I worry, I always think about how his diabetes affects us, not even thinking about how it affects him. I couldn't even imagine if I had to give myself shots 6 times a day. I mean, I couldn't even imagine what that would be like. So he's given himself shots 6 times, a minimum of 6 times a day for 6.5 years. So, I mean, I want to think how many shots that is. You know, I can complain about the prescriptions. I can complain about always having to add carbs. I can complain about having to do lots of things, but I'm still not the one that's gotten like 3,000 shots in their lifetime. And so I guess that's something to think about. Also, with kids with diabetes, is that it's not all about us. It's not all about the parents. It's about the kids and about how it affects them, because he's going to have this the rest of his life until they find a cure, which really, really sucks. And I really wish they would find a cure, because I know it is hard for him and it's just not fair. So you guys have a good night, and sorry if you missed the beginning. Check it out. Bye, guys.